So I have been to the doctor for different things. I know there was three things, but for some reason the only thing I can remember is two of those things. One, they checked my thyroid again, and found that it is only working at 2.5 and the normal is 4.5 to 14. So that explains a lot. Now, they had said that it was abnormal before, and then they did a second test, and then it came out as normal. But finally, they took two tests, and both times it came out that it was functioning below capacity, and that's not good, and that I need to see my endocrinologist again. I'm still having a hard time letting go of carbs. I just try to eat them less. Because of the dog, I'm kind of holding off on going to the endocrinologist because I spent so much money on the vet. But eventually, I'm probably going to do it for later on in the year. And then when they took x-rays of my hand, it's arthritis. There's bone spurs in here, like the bone is growing out. And that's why I can't straighten out my finger, and that's why it hurts. It's like pulling at my skin, especially right here. I'm very sensitive at the cuticle, and it's starting to happen to this finger and this finger. So that's just great. I know one of the things they were concerned about was me taking biotin as far as my thyroids were concerned. I stopped taking them for 2 weeks, and my nails are paper thin right now. Even though I wrapped them, they were still really, really thin, and the wrap only lasted about a week and a half, 2 weeks. They were saying that biotin couldn't make it abnormal, but the weird thing is that I've been taking biotin for about 5 years, and because of what the medications were doing to me, that was the third one. I wasn't even refilling my pill bottle. I was just taking my heart and my fluoxetine. So they decided to bring down my fluoxetine to 30, and they forgot to do a refill and told me to come back in 6 weeks. I only have 30 days worth. So let's see what happens with that. It did work much better. I have a little bit more energy, but I think because of the stress of what happened with the dog, my body has been so tense that I wasn't sleeping for a few nights because of what happened to the dog, and my body's so achy. I don't know if is that because of the thyroid or what, but I have been so stressed out. I haven't even been reading the book that the therapist asked me to read called ACT, and I think I told you a little bit about it. It's just about how the way we think really messes us up, and when we get all of these negative thoughts that bombard us and make us have a low self-esteem or make us feel bad about ourselves, we need to learn how to just, okay, that's it, and not let it like get to us. And so it's the way that we think, and that's a humongous simplification. But a lot of times, because of our own expectations and the things that we want and think, we let it get to us so much that it could really ruin our lives. And I don't know if I told this story before, but I'm not going to say any names. I'm not even going to say the relationship to me, but I know a woman who wanted something so bad. She thought that when she married this guy that she was gonna get the big house, and the guy was gonna be successful the way she thought he should have been successful. And when she saw other family members buying a house and she didn't get one, she just little by little let that destroy her marriage instead of seeing the good that she had. And there was a lot of good, and I'm not saying that the guy was perfect, he wasn't, but neither was she, and she just let that destroy her marriage, and she winds up uprooting their lives. And then once she, with the promise that once they changed everything, the environment and everything, that the marriage would work, and she winds up having an affair. And the person that she had the affair with was like 10 times worse than her husband, as far as expectations and her desires. And so she winds up divorcing the guy and goes to live with the other guy, and her life is way worse now than it was before. And she still has not acquired, after all of these years, I think it was 5 or 6 or 7 years, she still hasn't acquired the house that she always wanted. She went to, as far as those expectations, she just went into a worse situation. And I feel like because she's not happy, she makes her ex miserable, because she's not happy, because she still doesn't have the things that she wants. So again, it's the way that we think that can mess us up really bad. And you know, we really need, I mean, the book is very secular. There's nothing really religious about it, but I don't think the person who wrote it realizes that there is a lot of spirituality in that thinking, that to be content with what you're. I've always felt that the secret to happiness is to be content. You know, I've always wanted my own house, and I'm in a tiny apartment. I wish I could get out, but that doesn't mean I'm going to make my husband miserable about it. You know, I have both my children, adult children, living with me. One will be with us till the rest of her life. The other one is really struggling with anxiety and still trying to move forward, but it's extremely slow going, and we're in a very small apartment. And that really, you know, that really takes its toll. But I'm content because I have a husband who loves me, who brings home the bacon, who, you know, provides a roof over our head. You know, and even though my 2 children have their anxiety problems, they still say that I'm the best mother in the whole wide world. They still, most of the time, treat me like gold and appreciate what I do for them. So you see how it's the way that you think is what's going to affect you. So I haven't even been reading that. I didn't even expect to talk about that, but I haven't even been really reading the book then I'm supposed to read it as much as I can during the month and then meet with my therapist. But my own stress has been sky high between the stuff I told you last week, you know, my dog and insurance and all of that, and I can't even concentrate on reading because the stress has been so high. And I'm not sure if that's what's making my body so achy. I know I gave in and took the tramadol, and finally I was able to sleep because I was going a 4th night with that pain in my back and my body. I only had to take the tramadol one night. I had to take 3 in order for it to work, because it doesn't really work that well on me. And usually they want me to take 2, but it's like a friend of mine said, tramadol is like drinking water. It does nothing for pain, really. But between the naproxen and the 3 tramadol, that works for me. And I was able to sleep. And even when we were on vacation last year, I had shoulder pain, and a lot of shoulder pain. And I took 3, and I mean, I didn't have to drive, but it didn't like even make me sleepy or tired. You know, I was just enjoying going to the museums with my husband. So right now, as I'm speaking to you, my eyes are black. Under here, it's all that stuff from the liner is all just coming underneath my eyes, and I don't know how to. I mean, usually if it happens, it's usually from the mascara. I can do this and maybe try to take off as much as I can from the mascara, and then I can fix it by putting concealer. But I don't know what to do here. This is horrid. And then it's taking taking away my concealer and leaving me with the dark circles. But anyway, so the only thing, there's really nothing you can do except surgery if it really becomes a problem with your hands. So she gave me like this little splint from my finger just for when it gets really, really sore. But the splint irritates me. I think I need to wrap it with cotton or something, one of those wraps, before I can put it on. But I really haven't put it on. You can't even move your finger. And I mean, I guess she says I overuse that finger. I'm using it to scroll. When I'm cleaning myself, I just overuse it. And she said that's why that happened. But you know, the only thing that can be done is if it becomes really painful is surgery, which my insurance, of course, is going to give me a hard time about. But so you know, I'm gonna so like I said, I'm gonna make an appointment to see my endocrinologist probably sometime in November, and just gonna try and recuperate a little bit from you know, the vet bill. And you know, it says most likely they're going to put me on some medication for the thyroid. Here we go. But in a way, I'm kind of excited about that a little bit, because maybe it'll help me lose weight. I haven't weighed myself in a little bit. I know I was under 350. I know if I stop eating carbs altogether, I'll probably lose another 15-20 pounds. But I don't know. I've kind of been craving it. I don't know why. And I know one of the things my therapist said was, not my therapist, the psychiatrist said that stress causes you to want carbs. And that's pretty much, I think what happened was, when I was really stressed out, I went back to eating my bread. And I don't really eat it as much as I used to, but, you know, I'm just really trying. But, so yeah, that's what's been going on with my health, is very low functioning thyroid, which they say is not really good. You need to get treatment. Bone spurs. I mean, I'm expecting that's going to affect all my fingers eventually. And you know, they changed the medication, and it did help. I'm less like you know, I'm not like zonked out the way I used to be. I have a little bit more energy. But the 20 milligrams of Prozac wasn't working anymore. It was starting to like not work, and the 40 was a little bit too much. So the 30 seems to be a happy medium. I think that my tiredness is still coming from like not sleeping well last week. I think my body still needs to catch up, and you know, and I think the stress of my dog, you know, he's almost, you know, he's been jumping on and off the bed, and so he's almost back to normal. But I noticed that after the pain meds wear off, he doesn't want to jump anymore. But I'm kind of nervous because I only have enough for tonight and tomorrow morning. That's all the doctor said I should give him. So I was looking in the internet, and they were suggesting CBD oil. And I've been hearing that's very good for people with anxiety. It's basically the part of the marijuana plant that has the medicinal stuff in it, not the stuff that makes you high. So, you know, it's expensive though. They're like $75, but I know that marijuana is still illegal in Texas, but you can get the CBD oil as long as it doesn't have the part of the plant, the hemp plant, that makes you high. So it's expensive. So I don't know. I might look into that. I don't know. It probably could help me and my son too. Anyway, okay. So yeah, I'm not a great artist. I know I keep messing up, but I'm still having fun trying. So I'm gonna try this next. Okay, I will see you in a minute.